Good morning. It feels like we were just together. What's up? Happy Sunday. Got my Bears hoodie on. I slept in a little bit. A lot. Woke up super early yesterday. What a long day, man. I was up at 4:30 yesterday to get on the road. I was on the road by 5:10, 5:15. Hit up the McDonald's drive-thru, some coffee and sausage biscuit. And on my way to St. Charles, we're going to talk about the card show yesterday, Kane County Fairgrounds. After the show, I got home about, time did I get home? 6. I spent about a half an hour hanging out on the couch, came downstairs, and we did the Couch People Christmas party last night. So if you haven't, if you weren't able to join us last night, you can watch it in replay. We had a huge crowd. I think we had I'm pretty sure we had I don't think last year, I see Uncle Rich is with us. I don't think last year we had as many people as we had on last night. I don't remember filling the screen because there were times last night where people couldn't get in, couldn't call in because it was a full room with 10 people on the screen. So I don't think we had that at last year's Couch People Christmas party, which is a good problem to have. But I wasn't going to fork over the cash for the bigger stream because it's once a year. Let's see. I think we've got a bot in here. I don't know how to get them out of here. Andrea's here. So Couch People Christmas party. If you weren't able to join us live last night, I know there was a lot of people at Christmas parties. I know some of our regulars were at Christmas parties last night. So if you didn't watch, we just hung out and talked cards and beer and a whole bunch of stuff. We went on for almost 4 hours long? I think it was 11 o'clock when we wrapped things up, which is past my bedtime. So I slept in quite a bit this morning. So it was a good time, fun time. So let's see. What did I do Friday? So I teased this in the description of this video. I was building bargain boxes on Friday night, which I want to talk about here in just a moment. About the card show. You never know. You never know how you're going to do at a card show. So was building these bargain boxes and I found a bunch of boxes, not a bunch, a few boxes. I think I have one. I do. I have one behind me. I found a few boxes that I forgot I had. B, I kind of knew I had. I just didn't know what was in them. But a lot of times when I get the pallets from Goodwill, which by the way, I haven't had a pallet come up lately, which I would have thought more would have been coming in as opposed to less, with everybody, so many people dumping their cards, especially this modern stuff from the last couple of years. But a lot of times when I get these pallets, it's a mishmash of various things. And a lot of times I just stuff it in a box and plan to list it later. So I came across one of those boxes, which I tweeted this. I think I tweeted this out Friday night. At the 2021 National, I had not gone full time in the hobby yet. So I had a lot of card money to spend at the National, but I still had a budget. And I think I spent a little less than my budget, even pissing away on Sunday at the National. Like, hey, I've got this money burning a hole in my pocket. I wish I would have made smarter decisions on Sunday at the National in 2021. I didn't. One of those not smart decisions was purchasing basketball slabs. I ended up breaking even after about a year and a half on a bulk buy of SGC base prism and a few silver prism slabs. Thankfully, there was a Jordan Poole. There's some Kyle Kuzma's. that helped me get back to break even. Something that I still have, and I paid $40 for a PSA 10 Darius Basley, what I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Prism rookie. $40 I spent on this. Pissed away $40 on that. Most recent has sold for, I think it was $8 and some cents shipped. So that's a nice reminder of how we just pissed away money in 2021. There were, and then some Goodwill stuff. How about this is a phone card. This is a phone card. At first, I'm like, 49 minutes is a weird number, but then I realized, oh, it's Steve Young, 49ers. So this is a giant phone card, just in relation to a baseball card. So here's a baseball card, old Gary Carter, and there's the phone card. So a giant phone card. Probably still unused. Was issued. Oh, it expired on December 1st, 1995. So we're out of luck. Here's an old pocket schedule of the Chicago Blitz. I like the back better, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Here's the back. Old style. Look at those old bottles. Very cool. These sets, I don't think they're worth that much, but they're pretty cool. I might just open. I'm gonna look at these. They're oddballs, so I know the singles will sell. So I'll probably just open these and list the singles. But these are old, I believe, Milwaukee Braves oddball cards issued by the Wisconsin Historical Museum, World Series Wisconsin. Looks like there's 96 cards, and they're split into two. So that's 34, 96. So I think they're split into three, actually. So it looks like I have two of the three sets, or 2/3 of the set, I guess. Here's Warren Spahn. So I'll probably just break those up and sell singles. What else is in here? Just some random. Here's some old pins. Campbell Soup Olympics pins from Sarajevo 84. So it's the Winter Olympics. Winter Olympics pin set. These are NFL cards. Edge Quest. I'm not sure what those are. So just some random, a bunch of random stuff. I'm not sure what this is. Babe Ruth something. It's a special screw down holder also. So I found that on Friday going through the card room and digging out. There's a bunch of Michael Jordans in there as well. So I think the last time I hoarded Michael Jordans, because I always set Michael Jordans aside, but I never listed them. So I listed that lot. I think this time around, I'm just going to list like a batch through Card Dealer Pro of Michael Jordan cards. So I'm going to be listing some of the stuff that I found in that box and another box that was back there this week in my eBay store. Link in the description. Let's throw that banner up too. There you go. 99centcards.com will get you there. My eBay sales this weekend, usually this is anecdotal, but it seems like my eBay sales, it always seems like when I'm at a card show, my eBay sales suck. So I went back when I started to realize that. I went back and I looked, and it's not when I'm at a card show. It's just Saturdays. Saturdays seem to be a really crappy eBay sales day for me. But yesterday was not the case. It was a very good, above average. I would call that above average based on it was above my daily sales goal, but not by far. So yesterday was a good day. Friday was a poor day, but Thursday was an amazing day. So we're off to a slower start today for Sunday. So I'll be adding some more stuff to the eBay store this week. What day is it? Today's the 17th. Holy shit. We've got Christmas next weekend. So programming note for Hobby Evolution this week will be live every morning. Christmas Day is, what day does Christmas fall on? A Monday? Today's the 17th, so that's 8 days. Today's Sunday, so that sounds like a Monday. So won't go live on Christmas morning. Let's see, Christmas day after Christmas. Probably go live a little later. Probably go live because my mom will stay Christmas Eve and Christmas night. So probably do a little later show on the 26th, on Boxing Day. Let's see. And then no show on Saturday the 30th because it's the Madison card show at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. Going to have another double-digit new first-time dealers to the show this month, so I'm excited for that. Of course, many of our favorite regulars, and in a batch of guys that are semi-regulars. So I'm always happy with that diversity of dealers that, you know, you see new dealers, you see the same dealers every month, and then you see dealers not every month, but you're familiar with. So I like having that diversity, new people all the time. So so let's go to the chat and we'll talk about the card show. Did a lot of talking last night, so it's like, what am I going to talk about on Sunday morning? Oh yeah, the whole card, because I wanted to stay away from card show talk last night because I wanted to save something for today. So here we are. Where are we at? Donald, good morning. What's happening? Donald was a part of the Couch People Christmas party last night. So was Matt, Royals 417. Good to have you back this morning. Uncle Rich is here. Good morning to you. We've got Mikey in the house. How about this? Mikey called in from his lunch break last night. That's pretty cool. Good morning to you. It was a good time. Maybe we'll do like a quarterly party, Hobby Evolution quarterly or something in prime time and just do a hangout. Kyle's in the house. What's up? Good morning to you. Andrea has joined. What's going on? Uncle Rich says we had more people on last night, even when I got home at 10 p.m. and came on later. The room was still nearly full. Yeah, it was a crowded house. Very fun. Cooter, what's up? Now I feel bad for staying in if there were people who couldn't join. No, not at all. Not at all. I think everybody that wanted to get in got in. So it's all good. Donald says it was nice putting names with faces last night. Absolutely. That's the fun part. Bronco, what's going on? He says the part with Uncle Rich eating crackers was the highlight of Couchmas. It's funny going back to what Donald says about putting names with faces. I've heard from so many people at card shows that, you know, that watch the show, and they're like, oh, it was really like the 1000th episode. It was really cool seeing, you know, I hear the names all the time, and it was kind of cool to hear their voices and see their faces. So that was fun. BJ's in the house. What's going on? Todd, what's happening? Good morning to you. Cooter says 84 Gary Carter cereal card. Almost contracted type 2 diabetes, eating Cookie Crisp to collect that full set. Well, what else do I have? I think I have a whole bunch of them. Oh, I think that was the only one. Where are we at? Michael says EdgeQuest is Collector's Edge football. I think they were one of the first companies to serial number cards along with Pacific. I think you're right. He says eBay has been rocking since the week after Thanksgiving. That's pretty much the same for me. October and in the first half of November sucked. And then let's look at my numbers. My numbers started actually right before Thanksgiving is when I started to see that start of Monday, November. So I think that was the week, the start of Thanksgiving week. Monday, November 20th is when my sales started to go in the right direction. But but the funny thing is, the week after Thanksgiving was really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of terrible sales right after Thanksgiving. You know why that is? I ran a 50% off sale Thanksgiving weekend for Black Friday and that through that weekend, through Sunday. So that's why my sales were so bad and my sales were so good in the days prior. And then it's gone back to starting looks like, and then my sales have been better since Sunday, December 3rd. And we've for the most part, we've been hitting those goals every day. Red Light 34, he joined us last night. What's going on? Michael's in the house. What's happening? Flawed Thinker says, I went ahead and had my first rapid sudden death singles auction on Whatnot last night. Just trying something new. Sold 200 plus cards in 2 hours. Was able to get through stale inventory. That's pretty cool. I'm curious what type of singles were they? Were they low end singles? Were they, and I guess that's subjective, right? Were they dollar cards? Were they $5 cards, $10 cards, $20 cards? Was it a mix? I'm curious. Here's the thing. I've kept an open mind about Whatnot. I don't like, and it's kind of like I had a conversation at the show yesterday where there's a herd mentality in the hobby. And it's like we all have our groups, right? We all have our packs, our cliques. We all have hobby cliques. And it seems like there's this herd mentality when our clique or cliques disagree with something, we just latch on. And I think we see a lot of that with Whatnot. And we see so much negativity with Whatnot. But it's new. And I've always compared Whatnot to the early days of eBay. We saw this, if you were around 25 years ago, this is the same type of, we just didn't have social media back then. Very similar to, eBay, you'll get ripped off on eBay. Don't sell on eBay. You're going to get ripped off. Or don't buy on eBay. It was more, don't buy on eBay. You're going to get ripped off. And then it turned in, don't sell on eBay because you're going to get ripped off. It's so easy to rip people off as a buyer. And I see a lot of similarities between Whatnot today than what we saw with eBay in the early days. It was the Wild West on eBay in the late 90s and early 2000s. So having been on eBay since that time period, 98, 99, those early days, I want to keep an open mind about Whatnot. And I've only watched, I haven't got into, so I'm not into the games, the repack crap, the mystery packs. Like, I'm not into that crap. But I am into buying cards. So I've enjoyed watching the last couple weeks of Chasing Cardboard's Whatnot stream. I watched Ethan Roberts has a buddy that is starting his own channel. And so I watched, Ethan was on one night doing some giveaways and stuff. And so I was on that, just watching. And I actually did finally this past Friday night with Chasing Cardboard, there was a couple cards like, I might bid on that. And I tried to bid. I still do. I'm clicking and I can't bid. And I realized, you have to do the slider button, which I like. Thinking about it, I like that because you can't just accidentally click. Oops, that's a mistake. You have to like purposely click and drag. So I like that part. So then I realized, I don't want to miss out again because they go fast. If something comes up at a good price, I want to buy it. I want to be ready, have my payment information and all that crap in there. So Friday night, I finally put my info in. So I think James from Chasing Cardboard was on our stream last night. And I think he said they're going live on the Chasing Cardboard Whatnot stream Tuesday and Friday. So I'll try to catch some of that. See, he said vintage. So that piqued my interest. Hopefully it's baseball. So I'm keeping an open mind on Whatnot. And it's like, and I do think that this type of sales platform is the future. I'm not saying it's going to take over eBay and other platforms, but I think this is going to be live streaming. And that's why you see eBay Live getting in on things and Whatnot's really growing. And what else? I think there's a couple others out there that I think Loop. Is Loop still a thing? there's a couple out there that have kind of joined in, and I think Loop was one of those, and they were an early one. So as I continue to scale, it's like, is this something? Is Whatnot? Is selling on Whatnot? Because what I like about it is I could have a stack of cards. Now, the thing is, you have to have an audience. And it's like, I've got these Milwaukee Braves. Now, if you have an audience of 20 and nobody wants, but it might only sell for $1. So, but that's the risk you take with eBay as well. But it's easy. I don't have to like list all this stuff, or I can just pick up a single and be like, hey, I've got a duplicate of this Marty Sullivan Old Judge. And so always keeping an open mind on things. So I'm curious on Whatnot. Jeffrey's in the house. What's going on? Good morning to you. RD Crypto. Where's Low Roller Scratcher with our crypto update? Big Harv, what's up? He says, sorry, I missed last night. I think, were you a part of the Secret Santa? I think somebody said something about receiving a package for you. I can't remember. Porter, what's up? Good morning. Had a really good experience at my local card show yesterday. I actually bought all 130 of my singles from one table. Very cool. Very cool. Little card show review today. Rich says, by the way, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm the only like of 27 people watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. He says, come on, folks. Even Mike Maddox had a better batting average than that. Okay, the screen refresh worked, and now our like percent is where it should be. Tony Gwynn levels, excellent. Love to hear. Flawed Thinker says they were a mix of $1 to $10 cards. Okay, so what did you say earlier? Let's see. Sold 200 plus cards in 2 hours, was able to sell through stale inventory. So was it, in your eyes, was that a success? Your Whatnot sale, was that a success, burning through stale inventory and making the sales? That's pretty cool. JG, what's up? Oh no, another one falls into the Whatnot gang. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Sometimes we hate the game, not the player. 99 Sports Cards, what's going on? Good morning. Kyle says, I think it's only a matter of time before eBay acquires Whatnot. That's actually now that I see that sentence, Whatnot's pretty big, but I mean eBay's a freaking Goliath. So that would be something. I would prefer an eBay Live platform over a separate platform. If I could do eBay Live, in like the Whatnot fashion, hey, that could really open things up. There's Justin. What's up, man? Good morning. I got to meet Justin for the first time yesterday at the card show. Very cool meeting Justin. Ross is in the house. What's up, Ross? Long time, man. Long time. BPL Sports Cards. Good morning. Happy Sunday. What's happening? I've got my Bears hoodie on. They've got the Browns today at noon. I don't know if I get the game on TV here. We'll find out in a couple hours. Flawed Thinker says somebody that is really good to watch on Whatnot is Kane. He has a YouTube channel as well, but he does 5-second sudden death auctions. That's who I got the idea from. Very fun to watch. Oh man, as a viewer, potential buyer, I don't like 5-second auction. And I think the reason why 5-second auctions. So does it, so on the sudden death 5-second auctions, does it like add like a second or 2 seconds when there's a bid? Because it's like, I think sellers might like that because you can get people like overpaying, right? Like, ooh, I really want this card. I think it's a good price, and it may not be a good price. Ooh, which I want to talk about something. That reminds me. I've got some things that I want to touch on from yesterday's card show and over comps. Some of the same top. There's an example of a not priced table, comps, which is what this particular the cards were not overpriced, but in my mind, I thought they were underpriced, and they were for a resale. They were actually good price for a collector, but not for a reseller, which is what my intent was. Okay, I'm going to buy this at this price and resell it. So I want to talk about that. So that's what gave me the idea. 5-second auctions. It's like, ooh, I think that's a good deal, and it might not be a good deal. So as a buyer, I would stay away from the 5 seconds because I need some time to do a little research. Even 30 and 60 seconds, it's hard to get those comps. You have to have that pretty fast. Donald says, I've watched Burbank on eBay Live. I thought it was okay. I've not watched anything on eBay Live yet. One of the nights, I think after the Chasing Cardboard stream, the first one I watched, I think I went to eBay and I'm like, I want to see how eBay Live works. And because now I'm interested. I'm kind of intrigued by this. But I don't know if there were any on at that time because there's only a very few select sellers right now because I'm sure they're probably working kinks out and all that stuff. Justin says, Whatnot seems like a great spot for a rapid fire single sale. Audience matters, but great way to fire through a lot without the listing lift of eBay. Absolutely. And that's what it's like. Oh, I've got, say this is a high number. Oh, here's a high number, Yuri Perez. And, I can flash it in 30 seconds. We sell through a whole bunch of cards, or through, a couple hours, we sell through a few hundred cards like Flawed Thinker. And there's no sitting at the computer and typing. I'm just sitting here. So I'm intrigued. Big Harv says, I was part of the Secret Santa and got a great package. Very nice. Very nice. Pack Wars. It'd be cool. Going back to the Secret Santa, if did Uncle Rich, did you create a thread on the Hobby Evolution Facebook group? If not, if you could share your Secret Santa gifts, that'd be pretty fun. Pack Wars says, Whatnot is very interesting when you want to sell through certain cards and boxes of sealed wax. Very efficient app that delivers within 4 to 7 days after finishing auctions. Very cool. Uncle Rich did. Oh, awesome. So if you received your Secret Santa gift, hit up the Facebook group, show it off. I know some may not be on Facebook or in the group, so but if you are, go do that. Let's see. Hall of Fame card. Mikey's got a channel. I've got to go follow you. You know what? Let's give Mikey a follow on Whatnot. He is, I believe he said he is Hall of Fame card collector on Whatnot, just like he is here on YouTube. Let's go. Let's see. Browse. Oh, wait. Search Whatnot. Hall of Fame card collector. Is you. Yep, there it is. Mikey Logsden. So you now have 18 followers. So, all right. So I've got Mikey ready to watch on Whatnot. Kyle says, I don't think fast enough to keep up with Whatnot. That's I've noticed sometimes I don't either. It's like, ooh, is this I don't know. Do I want it? You have to decide, do I want to get in on this card? And then you have to decide what's my top price, like what's the most I'm willing to pay. In 30 seconds, it's hard to make all those decisions. I get it. Packwar says you have to know your stuff if you buy singles on Whatnot. Too fast of a process. Yeah, and that's what I've in watching some of the Chasing Cardboard, like a lot of the stuff that they sell, like that's really not my game. Like it's not really my game. So I'll see it's like, okay, and then you have to do math. Not only do you have to make those decisions, you have to do math and be like, okay, if I buy it at X price, I have to sell it at Y, and my net's going to be Z. Oh, man, that's a lot of math. Red Light says, you will get the Bears game on YouTube TV. It's on Fox. Will it be on Fox for me? Because sometimes I get like Minnesota or Green Bay games, and I don't know the NFL schedule today. I looked at it last night to see what time the Bears were playing. Let's see. So noon games, Chiefs and Patriots, Jets and Dolphins, Texans, Titans, Giants, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. Uh-oh. Is Buccaneers Packers on Fox? If Buccaneers Packers is on Fox, I will not get the Bears Browns game. So I'll just have to hide in the shipping room and ship all day. I can watch Hobby Hotline. I think Uncle Rich was on Hobby Hotline yesterday. I haven't watched that. So I'll watch yesterday's episode of Hobby Hotline. Chris Allen's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Mike Moore is here. What's happening? Flood Thinker says, I thought my auction was a success. I got through the stale inventory and also cards that I just didn't feel like listing. And that's the thing. I have cards that I just don't want to list, for various reasons. Like, it'd be easier to just, hey. And that's why I've thought about doing a YouTube. And I mentioned it on Hobby Evolution previously. Like, maybe I'll just I've got a platform here. Maybe I'll just do a random Tuesday night auction or sale, not an auction. I don't want to do auction, but like, hey, I've got this Jordan Walker rookie card, $4. But I have to be organized. And it's like, shit, I don't know if I want to go through that hassle when I don't know. Because that's why I like eBay so much, because eBay takes care of all that stuff. Like if I do a YouTube sale, I've got to have my inventory. Okay, here's the 100 cards I'm going to sell. And then I've got to write or type names, who won, price. I've got to collect payment. This is why people do a YouTube sale. Do a YouTube sale, sell 100 cards on YouTube, and then tell me the fees aren't worth it on eBay. Because you've got to, we've got to write down, Jordan Walker went to this guy and that guy, and then we've got to collect payment, and then we've got to collect addresses, and then pack and ship. Where I can just list 100 cards, put them through my Rico scanner, upload them to Card Dealer Pro, do a little typing, put them on eBay. eBay does all the work from that point on. Jordan says you probably qualify for eBay Live. I did look into how to sign up, and I think it's closed. Like I think there was a small window where you could apply. I'll go back and check, but I think I looked into it a couple weeks ago, and at that time the window was closed for application. So, but I'll circle back and keep checking on it. I don't want to commit. The thing is, I don't want to commit to it. I want to test it and be like, okay, is this for me? Is this not for me? So speaking of sales, I set up as a dealer at the Kane County Fairgrounds yesterday in St. Charles, Illinois. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, I was building some new bargain boxes. So I'm thinking, the first show at the Kane County Fairgrounds was Tom, East Coast Tom's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. The first show in St. Charles at the Kane County Fairgrounds was September, I think. And it was Sunday, and it was the first the first Sunday of the NFL season. Bears Packers at 3:00 that day. And I'm like, ooh, this is probably going to be a rough show. Sundays during the NFL season, it's opening day. Bears and Packers at 3. People are going to be packing up at 11, 12 o'clock. That was not the case. It was crazy busy, and I had one of my best sales days. I couldn't leave my table. Now, yesterday, I think the attendance was higher. There were more people in attendance. But I didn't have as good of attendance at my tables as I did back in September. I haven't counted my money, but I'm pretty sure I do. So I track every transaction in a spreadsheet on my phone. So at card shows, because the tax man needs to know. So I did 40. What did I do? 46. I think I did 46 transactions in September. I did 33 yesterday. And yesterday, a lot of my transactions were smaller amounts. I had a lot of like $3 and $5 transactions, whereas back in September, I did a lot of $20 and $40 transactions. I thought as I was building my bargain boxes, I'm like, damn, I have some really good 25-cent baseball boxes. Like people are going to be building these boxes and going to town. Only only a couple people had some big stacks. I probably actually, now that I think, I did have 3 or 4 bigger transactions. But I had one guy who's actually a listener to the show. I think he bought $85 cards. I had a few people. I think my biggest quarter box sale was $70 or $90. St. Charles. Let's see. Oh, 60. Oh, that was $1.70. I had a $70 sale on quarter cards. Then I had a $35 sale, $30 sale. How many boxes? 3 filler boxes. I think it ended up 4 boxes. So, yeah, it looks like yesterday's show was about average. 40. About average for what I do at shows, which was kind of disappointing from my expectations. But that's what I tell people. Go in with super low expectations, even if you think like I did this well and I've got newer stuff and better stuff. Wasn't the case. So it was a little bummed about the sales. But that's how it goes. I mean, it wasn't a bad sales show. It was average. It was an average sales show for me. It was just a different crowd. And they just weren't spending money at bargain boxes. Early in the show, this is a fun story. So early in the show, I happened to look off to my left, and I love my spot here. I've got a horseshoe set up at the. It's not really the back of the room because the entry is kind of over on the side. But I can see like the whole room. I was right in the middle. I could see the whole room. Love it. So I happen to look off to my left and I see a sign setting up on a table. It says selling entire collection. And I'm like, ooh. I locked eyes with that sign and I'm like, excuse me, gentlemen, I'll be right back. So I walk over and the dealer, his name's Nick. Nick goes, you look familiar. And I'm like, hey, I'm Bo. And he goes, you're Bo. You're Bo? I'm like, whoa, I've never got that before. How about that for a welcome? It's like, I watch your YouTube show. I've learned so much on eBay. That's pretty cool. And he's like, you buy collect. I'm like, yeah. So I kind of scanned and I'm like, I'm definitely interested in what he had. I saw the price kind of like, try to work down that price. So that was one of the early things. There were early on, like I went in anticipating a good buying day, but I only bought 2 cards. I spent $2 on cards. I acquired 6. I acquired 6 cards. Where are they at? Oh, right here. I acquired 6 cards. The 2 I bought were like as the show was beginning from JR, who will be set up at the Madison card show on December 30th. He's got like nothing but Bowman. I love it. Nothing but Bowman. So I picked up a Cade Horton Bowman Platinum numbered to 299. And Nelson Velasquez also numbered to 299. $2. So those are the only 2 cards I bought. The bargain boxer was in town. He made the drive up, so it was good to see him. He gifted me 3 cards. Javi Baez Select. This is numbered to 149. So I'm looking forward to adding these to Trading Card Database today. Anthony Rizzo private issue from Topps Gallery. This is also numbered to 250. And Ed Howard Purple to 250. So thank you, Randy, the bargain boxer. And then 1 card was acquired via trade. Toward the end of the show, a guy came up and he goes, I'm out of cash and I need penny sleeves. He's like, would you trade 5 packs of penny sleeves for this Jordan? And I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. And you're like, is this worth $5? Well, that's probably what it's worth. $5 after fees. What's my net? $3.50, maybe $3. But my penny sleeves, I get them for 50 cents a pack, $2.50 what I have in it. So I think it's a win. I didn't really care about that part, but it's like, oh yeah, if it was a random, I'm like, I mean, for 5 packs of penny sleeves, I probably would have taken just about anything. But so that's nice. It's always nice to have Jordans. I need to get my Jordans listed. It brings in decent, numbers for traffic to your eBay store. So that was nice. But I dug through some other boxes and just didn't find anything. I'm sure there was great deals. I just didn't. I was kind of late in looking at some of the stuff. I was early and then I was late. So that could be. So let's Hall of Fame card collector. Check him out. He is type in that. If you're on Whatnot, type in that name, Hall of Fame HOF card collector. Give him a follow on Whatnot. BPL Sports Cards. Oh, Flawed Thinker. What's your drop in your name on Whatnot too? I'll give you a follow. BPL says, I've gone through the application process with Whatnot and have yet to go live on there. Trying to watch as many lives as possible to get a good sense of how to do it correctly. That's a really good way to approach it. And that's kind of like I'm just watching some streams just to get a feel on how it all goes. Is this something for me or am I going to pass? So Craig's in the house talking Tatis. What's going on? Good morning to you. Flawed Thinker. Well, that's easy. He's Flawed Thinker on Whatnot. So let's, where's my Whatnot app? There we go. Search Whatnot Flawed Thinker. 381 followers. Boom. How come it didn't go up? St. Charles yesterday card show. Let's see. Where do I want to go from here? So let's go to the not pricing. So I'm digging through and there was a dealer that I'd never seen before. And he had boxes as far as the eye can see. And seemed like there was somebody came up to me and said, hey, like these guys bought a bunch of stuff from him. He must have good stuff in there. So I look and it looks like my setup, but with really good stuff, like top loaded. I see a Jose Canseco rated rookie. I picked up a pile and there's Wade Boggs and Tony Gwynn rookies. I'm going through another stack and there's like a 62 tops Hank Aaron leaders card. I'm like, damn, nothing is priced. And I don't know if Randy's in here, but I think this may have been the table that Randy was talking about in our conversation yesterday. So if I'm at a table like that, I want things to be priced. I don't want, it varies. And I didn't have the patience at this point in time yesterday. So here's how I will approach it. If there's stuff that I really like and if I've heard they're giving good deals, I will go through, I will spend some time, by time, a couple minutes. And I'll go through a stack of cards and I'll be like, oh, okay. I want to this is what I did at the National with the vintage bargain table in the back corner. So I'm like, what's your price? Well, it just depends. Well, what if I buy 800 cards? What's my price going to be per card? I think Dr. Jim Beckett and Uncle Rich talked about this on a recent Sports Card Insights podcast. So I'm like, okay, so here's what I do. Okay, if I really am interested, yesterday I was kind of impatient because I was set up and I was across the room, so I didn't have the time to do this. But okay, I want that card, that card, that card, that card. And so I want to get an idea. Okay, what if I buy, here's an example of stuff that I'm going to pull out. I don't know if this dealer would have done this for me or not, but okay, these 5 cards, if I buy 800 of these, what's my price going to be? On average, are you going to give these to me for $2 a card, $4 a card, $8 a card? Like if I buy, let's use an easier number, 100 or 500. We'll make the bulk deal worth it, right? 500. Are you going to charge me 1,000 or are you going to charge me $2,500 or $3,000 or more? So that's what I did at the National. He's like, oh, I do $1 a card on. I'm like, oh, that's a hell of a great deal. So I did. And I filled a 800 count box from that dealer. And so I asked the guy, I'm like, so what are the prices on this? He's like, well, it just depends what it is. And he's like, but I'll give you a good deal. Well, what's a good deal for you or a good deal for me? What's a good deal? That's pretty subjective. So I said, so then he kind of got in, and I think we were probably both annoyed by the conversation. Because I didn't like his answer. He probably didn't like my questions. So I said, well, is there any rhyme or reason? Like, is there a ballpark on, does this box have different cards than that box? Is there can you give me an idea? He's like, well, Hank Aaron's going to be more than a common. I said, okay, thank you, and walked away. Price your fucking card. And it's not like it's a 20. If it's a Cade Horton Bowman Platinum or a Jordan Walker rookie card, at least those are like volatile cards and the prices go up and down. And so if you're setting up once a month, or maybe you haven't priced in the last 2 months, there's some price fluctuation. If it's a 1986 Donruss rated rookie, I can guarantee you in the last, there was a 2-year period where things were more volatile with that segment of cards. But today, if you priced a Jose Canseco 86 Donruss rated rookie in January, I can guarantee you the price hasn't fluctuated much this year. So price the damn cards. I get it's time consuming, but I might have spent $1,000 with this guy, but I didn't have an idea, and I didn't want to go through and pick out 10 cards. Okay, if I get these 10 cards, but in that's the difference though. At the National, I had the time to do that. Yesterday, I'm limited on my time because I'm set up myself. I can't just stand there for 2 hours, So Uncle Rich says Friday. Yes. So I watched it Friday or listened to it on Friday. So Friday's podcast for that topic about how to negotiate when you buy bulk at a discount table. Rich says, I really should have said the famous line, don't be a dick, but that does not work on that podcast. Etiquette was part of that chat as well. Yeah. So it was just one of those things where it's like, and hey, maybe he made a bunch and he didn't need my sale, but it's like, give me some type of guide. Because if I am a reseller, so, I'm not going and picking cards for the most, from his selection. It was vintage and junk wax, and there was, good stuff, and there was kind of some crap. Most of that would have been for resale for me. So maybe his niche is selling to collectors, but I know for a fact, because some of the buyers he had were resellers. So, maybe I should have been more patient, and not that I was impatient. It was just, when he said, well, cards, Hank Aaron's going to be worth more than a common, then it's like, okay, don't be a dick. Okay. All right. You're going to be a smart ass. I'm going to walk away. So, Donruss is not priced. Like, I get if a Bowman Draft Chrome Super Fractor Auto is not priced because it's so volatile, but vintage and 80s and 90s stuff, price fluctuation, you can price it in January and push play walk away. That price isn't going to move much. However, let's go back. I see Michael Renicky. So I'm going to talk about the dealer next to him, Anthony. Great dealer, great prices. This is going back to my thoughts on prices. And I guess his boxes, and I didn't even look at his boxes until towards the end of the show, and there was still some really good stuff in there, and apparently they were ravaged through the day. And there were still a lot of good stuff. And I'm like, damn, this is really cheap. Like Bryce Harper, like the blue parallel, like Gold Cup, blue parallel, like Mike Trout mini Gold Cup. The letter winner, the letters, the patch letters, which sell well at time. They're a slow roll. I bought a bunch of those down in Dallas from Uncle Rich's friend at the Comic-Con show. And I still have a bunch. I've sold a bunch, but I still have a bunch. But I also only had like $2.50 per on those cards. So I'm digging through and I'm like, okay, there's some good stuff in here. And I went back to my table and I looked some of the stuff up, and I was shocked at how cheap some of the stuff is selling for. Now, his prices were really good. And this is an example of his prices are really good. And the market's kind of soft. So it's like, as a reseller, like for example, there was a 2011 Heritage Chrome Clayton Kershaw, really nice card. I'm like, damn, he had $5 on it. I'm like, this is probably like a $20 card. I went back and I looked, it might sell for 20, but the last one sold for $9. And it's like, okay, $9 after fees and ship, $9 is probably going to get me what? $8, $7, $6, $7. So is the juice worth the squeeze? Clayton Kershaw it's not like I'm going to list it today and sell it tomorrow. Potentially. I guess if I could probably list it today for $10 and it would sell. But it's one of those where I don't know. I didn't know. I was hesitant. And I think the reason why I went in to the show yesterday, I went in anticipating to buy, but I got cold feet. There was a lot of cards that I may regret passing on in bargain boxes yesterday because the market's soft right now. What's my philosophy? Quick flip. Okay, I want to move this. And what's my main focus? Baseball. What's in the slowest time of year for sales? Baseball. Now, we're going to see an uptick here in the next couple of weeks going into the new year as we approach baseball season again. But I think I get a little hesitant, especially when it comes to prospects and Bowman. What do I do? But I need to set that fear aside because this is the best time to buy the offseason. So Michael says, yes, there was. So he had a bunch of good stuff and he had really good prices. What I liked the most about his stuff was it wasn't 2022 Bowman or vintage. It seems like every table you go to is vintage or ultra modern. And there's so few. And I think I need to take my own advice when I build my bargain boxes. And I did this when I did dime boxes last week in Janesville. And I had a bunch of like 2014 Heritage and Archives. And I had a couple like, whoa, you don't see these very often because everybody's got 2022 Bowman. Like, oh, that entire box, Bowman, Panini Chronicles. So it's nice to see some of the 10-year-old stuff. And there wasn't many people in the hobby 10 years ago. So there's not a lot out there. So I think when I'm building boxes for my next show, December 30th, Madison, Wisconsin, I'll keep that in mind and throw some of that in there because I think some of that will move. Go Dogs is in the house. What's going on? JG going back to the not price. Sounds like all the vintage dealers in my show. Justin says exact same fear I have. Tough to pull the trigger. Yeah, I've got just. And it's got to be really this time of year. It's got to be a smoking deal for me to pull the trigger. If I'm just pulling, random cards out here and there, and it also kind of depends on. I think maybe because I was having a slower sales day than I was anticipating. Maybe that's why I was a little slow to make any buys yesterday because I was expecting to make a little more than I did, and maybe that's what kind of held me off. I don't know. So, the collection. So, back to Nick's collection. So early in the show, I went over to Nick. He's like, I watch your YouTube. I've got this collection. Would you be interested? I'm like, I'm definitely interested. Let's talk at the end of the show. Typically, the price goes down end of the show because you're set up and you're selling cards throughout the show. So he comes over. He's like, hey, I've got another deal. He's like, I don't want to push you, but I got rid of all the commons because he was selling like commons by the box. I got rid of all the commons. So it's just some of the, bargain box and other stuff. So I'm like, he's like, I don't want to push you, but I got another guy interested. I'm like, okay, I'll step over there and take a look. And so I went through and going through, and he was kind of still set on his original price. And I wasn't really anywhere close to that. And I'll tell you why. Not that it wasn't worth that, but it was a lot of stuff that will take time. Which is okay if you need inventory. I don't need inventory. So, one of the things I look for is, okay, what if I'm going to pay X amount? I want some, say I'm paying $3,000. Say it's a $3,000. I need some $100 stuff in here, some $100 plus cards to get close to 3,000. Because if I'm moving these cards at say an average of $3 a pop, say I'm making $2 net. Without even considering my time, that's 1,500 cards that I have to sell just to get to break even, not even accounting for my time. And I just didn't see a lot of higher end for me cards that $100 here, $50 there that could get me there. Another thing I look for is Jordan, because Jordan, I know I can sell him for a couple bucks a piece. I've got a set group of players that one of my buyers, anytime I'm putting together bargain boxes, he's like, I'm looking for these guys. This is what I pay. So I know I can set these aside. I can count them up. Okay, there's this many Acuñas. Here's what he's going to pay me. I'm going to set some. He was paying only 20 cents on Ohtani's, which now I'm selling for like $2.50 to $5. So he doesn't get my Ohtani's anymore because I can make quite a bit more money on eBay with Ohtani. He pays X amount for various players, but if it's like Aaron Rodgers, here's freaking 100 Aaron Rodgers. So I look for those, the names that are on his list, because I know that's easy money, because I can just put those in a pile, calculate them up. Next show I see them, here's, $50, $100 worth of the cards that you're looking for, and easy sale. And there wasn't really too many of those players in there. So we were way off. And even at $1,000, even at $1,000, and you want to be careful. Etiquette, as Uncle Rich mentioned earlier, just don't be a dick. Communicate with some etiquette. Don't scoff at the price. Like if you're off on price, whether you're the buyer or seller, don't be like, that's not, way below or above that. So, because I value that differently than the next person might. My favorite example of that is Sandberg rookies. If I didn't have a Ryan Sandberg rookie card, I would pay $5, maybe even $10 for a Sandberg rookie, which I think they're probably, I see them for $5 usually, but if I needed it, I might pay $10. If I need, we'll use air quotes for that. If I need a card, I'll pay more. But I have so many Ryan Sandberg rookies, I don't need to pay $5. Like, you could say, hey, I've got the Sandberg rookie, I'll give it to you for $4. Like, I'll pass because I've got 30 of them or more, and I don't need 31. Maybe 2 years ago, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take that, but now not in the same boat anymore. But you might get $8, $10 on eBay, but I'm not going to pay $4. So I valued a little differently. So I said, I'm like, I'm I'm not interested. And I did say we're far, because you don't want to just like ignore the elephant in the room. It's like, okay, here's my honest take on it. Like, I'm not anywhere close to your number. I'm not interested. And to be honest with you, even at if you said $1,000, I would probably pass. You're probably going to get more than that. And if you want to spend the time breaking it up and selling it, you're going to make, a lot more money than that. But that's the thing. It's going to take a lot of time, and it's inventory. I have a lot of this already that I don't need it. So just be communicative. And kind of going back to about a week ago, there was a collection on Facebook Marketplace, and it's just a bunch of pictures of boxes. Like, can you send me some pictures of the cards? And I think that was, he was asking like 4,000 or 5,000. And it's like, I need to see more than a couple cards that are 50 and $100 before I buy this. And he did. He came through and sent me a whole bunch of pictures. And again, it's like, I'm probably around $1,000 on something like this. And I think that's what I said. I would be at 1,000. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the pictures. Like, here's my price. And I'm not offended if he, wants to stick to 5,000. And hopefully, and we left, neither person got upset, because the thing is, you don't have to buy or sell. Like, nobody's forcing you to buy a collection or a card, nor are they forcing you to sell it something you don't want. You can say no. So I left with I left with 6 cards, but I only bought 2. So 3 were gifted. Thank you, Randy. 1 in a trade, and 2 that I purchased. Spent $2 yesterday. So we'll see. I don't know. Will I be in a buying mood on December 30th at the Madison Card Show? We'll see. But overall, great show. I enjoy it because I see different faces. I get to meet people like Justin, who was there. Several other people that I don't get to see. Have conversations about the Ricoh scanners, about Car Dealer Pro, the Cubs and Cubs cards. And so another thing, I had a Joe, who I see Joe quite a bit. He is fascinating Cubs collector. And he's got like a binder of checklists, and he's got this elaborate spreadsheet of Cubs. And it's like, that's his thing. And I love it. And so, of course, he's disappointed because I don't sell any Cubs. But I just came up with this idea yesterday. Now, when I hit 1 million Cubs cards, I'm going to have a lot of, duplicates. I think I even have like a duplicate T206. I just got to make sure it's the same back. Because if it's a different back, I'm going to, because they're different cards. So I got to check that. But I've got like Dylan Cease first chrome autos. I had at one point, I had like 25 of them. And I think I'm down to like 6, but I don't need 6. I need 1. I don't need any of them, but I need 1 for my collection. So as I start getting organized and logging stuff on Trading Card Database, a lot of my duplicates and triplicates, and do I need 3,087 tops Ryan Sandbergs? Of course, who wants those? But I was thinking about this yesterday. I think next year, probably next summer, because I'm going to hit 1 million pretty soon. We're at 991,000. I'm thinking one show, I am going to just unleash all of my duplicate Cubs. Not all of them, but I'm going to do quarter boxes, dime boxes, nothing but Cubs. So I know I have several people that will probably spend the entire day at my booth, and maybe I'll do it at like St. Charles. So it's, because I know that's where most of the Cubs collectors are in that area that would be interested in something like that. So I think that's something that I might do because it's not about it's about helping other Cubs collectors because some of these Cubs collectors are just as passionate about the Cubs baseball cards as I am. And so I can help them and that'll be fun for me. I mean, it might be tough watching several hundred Cubs cards leave my collection, but I don't need, multiple copies of every card. So that was the St. Charles Card Show. It was, as always, a lot of fun. It was a long, long day. McDonald's in the morning. They didn't screw up my order like Duncan did last week. It was a 2 coffee morning, usually on card show days, because I have so much like adrenaline. I only have 1 cup of coffee, but it's about a 2-hour, little over 2 hours, like 2:10, I think is what it takes me to get to the Kane County Fairgrounds. So I stopped, and Michael, I don't know if Michael's still in here, but I'm cruising down and I'm like, as I get closer, and it's Randall Road, which is crazy busy. There's like places lining up and down the entire Randall Road. So I knew there was going to be a gas station or a Dunkin' or a Starbucks or a McDonald's along the way. And there was a 7-Eleven just, a block away from the fairgrounds. So I stopped in, and all of a sudden I see Michael Renicky. So we had a chat before the show at 7-Eleven, had some 7-Eleven coffee. It was okay. It's coffee. It was okay. So 7-Eleven coffee, and then what I have, Wendy's. I had Wendy's on the drive home, and then I was disappointed because I'm driving, and I'm like, I'm hungry now, but I want to stop somewhere on the right side of the road because I'm going north, and I want to turn right and turn right. I don't want to turn left and turn left. So I'm like, geez, there's like, when you're going north on Randall Road in Elgin, South Elgin, St. Charles, it's like all homes on the right side. It's like, geez, where's it? Until finally you get close to the interstate, and I'm like, oh, thank you. So I'm like, the first place I see is a Wendy's. Okay, I'm just going to go to Wendy's because there might not be much left. And then I go further. There's a freaking Popeyes. I missed Popeyes. Oh, so now I know for the next St. Charles show, wait till Popeyes, because, man, those chicken sandwiches at Popeyes, so good. But I had a Wendy's. I had a wrap. I had a chicken wrap, which was really good. Wraps are underrated. I love some chicken wraps. Hall of Fame card collector just listed 38 cards in his store, including Kevin Durant rookies. Nice. Kyle says, so when you hit the million, it's going to be like when Forrest Gump stopped running and just went home. No, it's organization. Everybody asks, well, what are you going to do when you hit a million? It's like, now I've got to organize. And I've started doing that, logging stuff on Trading Card Database, making sure it's in a spot where I know where it's at, because I've had to delete my entire database twice because I just put boxes back on shelves and didn't mark them appropriately. So I think I've got almost 9,000, I think, listed, logged on Trading Card Database. So, and that's another thing. I think maybe Cooter mentioned that on last night, or maybe somebody at the card show yesterday mentioned, well, you can put your collection up for trade on Trading Card Database. That's a brilliant idea. So I can do that also, as long as I make sure to keep it organized and know where everything's at. So that was the Kane County Fairgrounds yesterday. St. Charles Card Show, of course, last night. I came home and had some spotted cows, and we hung out on the stream last night for the Couch People Christmas party. Appreciate everyone joining. So go and if you didn't see it last night, go watch it on replay. Shit, it's 10:45. I've got a Zoom call coming up in 15 minutes, and maybe I'll have news about that Zoom call later this week. So that's what I had for today. If you haven't already, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's see. The activist Al Hala says, I have so many cards I'll be posting on eBay here shortly. Thanks for all the tips on how to sell. You are welcome. Thank you. Uncle Rich says, did we wish a fond farewell to box 13? There it is. Yeah, I need to replace that. It's getting saggy. I don't want to drop an entire 3,200 count box of inventory. So like, subscribe, hit up my eBay store. I'm going to be shipping here after my call this morning. And then hopefully tomorrow I can get listing again. I've got some fun stuff that'll be coming into my eBay store that I showed off earlier in this morning's stream. So thanks again. thank you so much for joining us for the Christmas party last night. It was a blast. Thanks for jumping in this morning. We'll be back live tomorrow morning. Hopefully I won't need to sleep in. I think there's a nap in my future today, even though I slept in today. Donald says we need to make relic cards of box 13. So that would be fun. Box 13 should be on Hobby Evolution merch. So yeah. So hit up my eBay store, 7 or more items. You get 25% off at checkout. So thanks again. Like, subscribe, and tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central for a back to work edition of Hobby Evolution. We'll see you Monday.